Oh, the actual number ones? Actually, we're giving the drivers kind of the first opportunity to see if they want to get those, the number one cars.
Did Tommy's dad take number one?
Yeah, I think that's what you heard at Daytona, that Tommy wants to get number one for his dad, I think. But we're going to give him a chance first, and if not, there may be another opportunity for those cars going forward. But we'll wait and see. We'll give them the first kick at them and see if they want to keep them.
Just give them to the driver.
Just give them to them?
Yeah.
Are they you on commission with their staff? You know they make a lot of money, right?
Yeah, Ollie drives the Z06 right now. He's got one that he's always sporting around Europe, so he's a good advertisement with more than just racing. He drives it everywhere, so he's pretty cool. If you follow him on Instagram, you see it all the time. So.
Oh, they are.
You mentioned that Corvette was number one in the luxury sports car market. What other cars are you competing against in that market?
Oh, good question. The question is, what other cars are in the luxury sports segment? And the neat thing about it is most of the cars we race against, so the Porsches, the 911, the Boxster King, all the Porsche sports cars are. Like Jaguar F-types and their Ferraris, Lamborghinis are in that segment. Basically, the Mercedes and BMW sports cars, the two that they have. So basically, most of the sports cars. The interesting thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, is in general it's almost all European cars in that segment that we compete against. Yeah, the second place, like Wendy said, would be the 911, but they're pretty distant second to us. And even if you add all the Porsche models up, we're still well in first place if you count them all. So we're very proud of that, and again, it's a tough segment because we're taking on. You think about the companies that compete. They're putting their best foot forward. This is a lot of bragging rights, best in the world, a lot of egos on the line, both in racing and in sports cars. So we're very proud of that. Thanks. Egos. Yeah, Jay.
Harlan, normally next model cars end in about May for ordering. Are we going to extend maybe a little ordering for 19s longer this year, or is the ordering bank going to end in May like it has in the past for the last orders?
No, the 19. I don't have a date, but the 19s will extend past then. So you could still order a 2019 Corvette if you want. And there's plenty available too. Yeah. Which cars? Yeah, the driver design, right, that's a good question. Yeah, the driver series cars are 19s and they're available right now to order. There's a package code, and actually, it's a little trivia, but the package codes for the letters are PDO, and like the O would be for the Oliver car. It's the first name, PD, and then the first letter, the first name of the drivers will be named all the codes after, so for the 4 packages. So it's very easy to order. You just pick that code, and if you want 1, 2, or 3, you can get some other options on them. Like if you get the Grand Sport, you could get the carbon fiber ground effects, or you can get it with a Z07 ceramic brake if you want to go package, if you want to go all out, or you can get them just with the package by itself on the 1LT if you're trying to keep the price lower. I like my job. No announcement at this time regarding future plans.
Keep buying the 19s.
But the 19 is a great car. C7 is a great Corvette generation.
As you already said in your talk, forecast, you've already forecasted out 5 years. Can you share with us some of that forecast?
I like my
No,
job.
Wendy's under the same. She likes her job as well.
I think I like my job almost as much as you.
Almost as much.
Almost as much. You're a little bit more so.
No, we do plan a lot of things in the future. Obviously, we have to, but futures change too. I will say, again, can't really talk about the future. I will just say the future is bright. Base price of which car? Of the driver series? Okay, that's a good question. The price of the driver series, it's it basically would be a Grand Sport Coupe, which starts at about 67, plus the package cost is $5,000. But it does, if you add up all the features that are on there, it's some of them are discounted, some of them are about the same. So we kind of made them the same all the way across. But if you do, I think our buddies at Corvette did a post where he on the forum where he broke it all down to show that the cars have the value in them. Because some people didn't understand. I think people don't understand when they see that price doesn't include all the graphics, the wheels, the brakes, and some of the interior features, red seat belt. It doesn't feature all those options put together, so it does add up.
Yeah, just off the top of your head, Harlan, a little update on where we are with 19s. Have we built 20,000? What are the top 3 colors? What's in production?
I'll give you one guess. What's the top color?
White.
Thank you.
And then you can guess the second.
Torch red.
Yes.
And
Yellow?
the third.
No, black.
There you go.
Yeah, so beneath the Corvette, the 3 classic colors that we have, the Arctic White, the Torch Red, and black are always, in the top 3. So pretty well. One of the interesting things, I meant to cover this before, and again, Wendy does a great job of getting all the data and facts and figures together that we put together. We use that a lot in the presentations at the museum. The 19s are doing well. We're doing a lot of more than usual. We're probably doing a lot more like the Stingray 1LT, which is our most affordable car. You're seeing a little bit more of those than we typically see. Again, with people trying to get more people getting into Corvette, and it's a very good car for the price. Grand Sport is doing great.
I was going to say it's actually pretty interesting because with the Stingray is trending to 1LT, Grand Sport is trending to 2LT, and the Z06 is trending to 3LT. And our ZR1 is like 97% 3ZR. So, they progressively go up, and it's pretty cool.
And on the, that's a good point. In the ZR1, I get this question a lot because we have basically two chassis packages. We have the standard ZR1, and then we have what we call the ZTK Performance package, which has the higher wing that a lot of people see in the back, and the cup tires. And people in the split of that is about 30%, 70% for the higher wing car. So a lot of people are going for the all out.
What's total production though? We had 25,000 so far. Or?
I think we were at around 27.
27.
Yeah, 27. Again, it's a longer. It's been a longer model year as well. We got one in the back from our buddy. Yes, driver series cars are available in all 3 trim levels: 1LT, 2LT, and 3LT.
And both seats, right?
Yeah, and both you can get both seats. Good point. You can get competition seat or the GT seat. And we did that. That's kind of a neat thing about it. Traditionally, when we've done like special cars, we've limited it to only the top trim level. So one of the things we wanted to do with this one was just to make it more, everybody loves the Corvette racing and the drivers, and we wanted to make that a little bit easier for people to get if you want it, whichever level of interior you want.
Has the C7 made inroads in the younger market, and what have you done to try and project it so that younger people get into Corvette and stay with it?
That's a great question. Questions about getting younger people into Corvette and what the 7th generation Corvette has done. And yes, I think that we've seen a lot of new customers in the 7th generation Corvette that we've never seen before. We've seen people, not only is it their first Corvette, a lot of them it's their first American car of any kind that they've had. So when we came out with the new design in 2014, there were maybe some heartburn from the traditional, that we did break some of the traditional styling cues maybe. We went a little bit extra, things like the quarter glass, the tail, of course the tail lamps. But a lot of that was done because we wanted the car to look new, obviously be a new separation, a new generation. The other thing, bringing back the Stingray moniker, the Corvette Stingray, that was something that we found appealed to not only, of course, all of you are Corvette faithful, everybody loves Stingray, but the new customers saw that as something new and something they kind of vaguely knew about from the past. Oh, they brought back something that's cool, bringing the Stingray back. So I think this generation has done a lot to open up the Corvette to not just both, also younger customers and newer customers. It still, you know, the car's been out a few years now, but still, you know, when you drive in the neighborhoods and everything, to see the younger kids like excited about it. And I also would like to encourage all of you, and you guys do it, you all are ambassadors, unofficial, unpaid ambassadors for Corvette. But if you see a younger person and they ask you questions about it, don't say, hey, you know, you're annoying, leave me alone. You know, answer some of their questions, you know. And because we all have that story, I do, I'm sure all of you do, we all have that story when we were growing up and we had a neighbor or a friend of the family or somebody that had the Corvette and we wanted to ask them about it. And we had a friend that let me sit in his car and get me for a ride, you know, when I was like 12 years old. And we all have a story like that. So for this new generation, we've got to keep that going, keep the fans going, and keep the interest in cars and sports cars going with Corvette. And so I think we're seeing, I think it's only going to get better. I think we're really going to work hard to get, we really have two jobs with Corvette. Of course, job number one is please all our Corvette fans, like everybody here, is make sure you guys are happy with your dream sports car. And job number two is to corrupt young minds and create a new generation of enthusiasts that are going to be here. And so we're really, you know, and more race fans like you too. And you're starting to see that at the different events, at Carlisle, at the museum. You're starting to see some new people coming in, so it's great.
And you look over in the crowd here, we don't see too many white cars. What markets are buying white cars?
What markets are buying white cars?
It
Florida.
actually crosses all regions.
Florida, California. I think it does cross all regions. I think in general the hotter climates, like the white cars too, keeps it cool and everything. But it has been the #1 color every year of the 7th generation. The last year, the 6th generation also was the #1 color. And it's the only color that's been in every year for Corvette. There's always been a white Corvette every model year. So, but you know, that's why we have 10 colors. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to have. We're not making you buy the #1 color. Buy the one that you like. Yes.
So maybe we'll flip the script here. You talk about how we had the taillight change and everything else. Being with a lot of groups that have been Corvette owners a lot, what's your biggest fear in the next 5 years? Just if you can be as vague as you
What's
want.
my biggest fear? I have no fear.
Okay.
I face fear dead in the eyes with a dark stare.
That's good.
I don't know how many of you knew Harlan used to race cars too, so
Yeah.
Harlan's got a little bit of a daredevil in him.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Harlan is responsible for the PDR that you guys have in your car. That's him because of his love of racing
Yes.
and video games, you know, car racing games and stuff like that. So that's all him. So he's right there with you. He has no fear. That's a true
No,
statement, right?
you can't have fear with
He
the
has no fear,
Corvette.
right?
I remember, it was actually, it's a little bit off topic, but there was a Harley Davidson motorcycle ad, and it was on about 10 years ago. Remember when the economy was bad, downfall, you know, everything was going to hell. So they had this ad for Harley Davidson motorcycles, and it had this big slogan. It just said, the guy was riding, you know, it just said, "We don't do fear." And I kind of like that. I mean, it's a little bit of attitude as Corvette too. Like, we don't worry about fear. If you're driving a Corvette, if you're a Corvette driver, that's not what you're about. You're about being bold, and you make a statement, and you're about enjoying yourself, having fun, just enjoying the car. So, yeah.
Keep hearing that Corvette never has commercials because the car sells itself. Da, 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 da. Obviously, if there was commercials, more cars would get sold. Why are they not doing commercials?
Why are we not doing commercials for Corvette? That's, you know, I'd love to see, personally, I'd like to see more commercials for Corvette too. I think Corvette could help. I don't think we need commercials necessarily to sell Corvette as much. I think we do a lot with the racing and things like that. But I think Corvette could help the Chevrolet. I'd like to see us use Corvette more to help Chevrolet as a whole. I think as a brand, you know, you compare Chevrolet to you know, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, they don't have a Corvette. They don't have anything that cool. So, but you know, I agree. I hear that a lot from you guys. Like to see the Corvette more, and maybe that's something we'll see going forward. Like to see the Corvette used more with Chevrolet and in general. But you know, it's a lot of things. Like Corvette is successful, so you like with any company. You know, one of the biggest things we're doing at Chevrolet is trying to get across. Chevrolet has a great, you know, over the years, quality, reliability record that a lot of people don't realize. You know, a lot of people think, you know, they put Toyota and Honda, and we're trying to show people, if you see a lot of these survey commercials, that Chevrolet across line, not just Corvette, but all the Chevrolet cars and trucks have done very well in the on all these J.D. Power studies, these recent studies to show that we can take on the best in all the segments, you know, take on the Japanese cars, Korean cars, whatever, and in the mainstream car segment. So that's really where we need the most help on, is getting that message across, and that's why you're seeing all that going on. Yeah.
When are you going to get James Bond to drive a Corvette?
James Bond? James Bond to drive the Corvette?
We got you. We don't need Bond.
We did have, who did we have? We had Black Widow in one of the movies. That was cool. Yeah.
How often do you change that new color? How often
Oh, how often do we change the exterior colors? Usually, it's about 3 a year. It's usually what we get allotted. It's kind of allotted. So usually we do, in general, sometimes it's 2, sometimes we get 4, depends how it works. But in general, it's 2 to 4 colors every year, and those colors are basically worked on a couple of years in advance. And I get a lot of input from colors, actually, like the Sebring orange. We kept hearing, you guys need to do a brighter orange. You guys keep trying those dark because we want the bright ones. And finally, working with the color studio, we got a great color studio. I said, let's give us a bright orange, you know, for Sebring, and they did it. And that's color. That color is far, I thought it would do well. It's far exceeded expectations. I think it's like the number 4 or 5 color. Usually you get people that are, you know, orange and yellow, you know, those are really, the really bright colors are more lucky to the person orange. That Sebring orange has really done well. And actually about 30% of the 01s, we have a special package with the Sebring orange are that color. So it's really been, and it's a beautiful color. Charlie knows she's not listening. Jim and Charlie, they know.
Charlie's guest.
Charlie has Sebring.
Charlie, do you like Sebring orange? So yeah, so that's a fun thing. We try to keep the core color. Again, we talk about Arctic white, black, torch red. Those are probably ones that'll stay. We kind of learned our lesson one time with the torch red. We changed it, and there was such an outcry. We brought that back, and now it's back. So we'll probably never touch that again, maybe as long as I'm around. Crystal red, yeah. So probably the Arctic white, the torch red, and the black will probably, as long as I'm the product manager, those are here to stay. But the other ones, hey, we can have a free-for-all and have fun, and we'll try different ones. Some of them, like, people wonder. Unfortunately, some people that are planned only to be a short time. Like, people will say, oh, like, you've done some great colors. We've had lime rock green, sterling blue, black rose. And people are like, oh, it's gone 1 year. Well, we kind of know that these colors, they're going to have like an appeal for a short time. So we plan to do them for a year or 2. That's sort of the plan, and then go to something else. It doesn't mean it was. I think some people get the wrong idea. Oh, it didn't sell as a failure. No, that was kind of the strategy. We do have a strategy of certain colors, but kind of more trend or, you know, exciting to like get them out quick and then go. And the people that love them will get them. And it makes them special too. People who have those colors, I mean, they're always so proud of them because they know they have a special car. Why don't we have a metallic black? That's a good question. I think metallic black would be great on Corvette. We did that, if anybody remembers the Centennial edition, the carbon flash. We do use a lot of metallic black on the accents of Corvette. You know, the carbon flash, it's in a lot of the accents on the car. But sure, anybody would like to see a full metallic black car? I got a few. I got at least 7 or 8 of them. You don't even want one yourself? The white? All right, forget it. No. What? Yes, you are.
Is it possible that Corvette doesn't advertise to the quote-unquote general public because they spend their marketing dollars on Corvette racing, which is the best advertising for the company should be?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Your question was, yeah, Corvette doesn't spend a lot on the mainstream advertising because we use the racing, which is targeted right to the customers that are interested in sports cars and racing. So you're right. That is why it is more focused in that direction for sure.